call as me, isn't it? All these things you accumulated from outside, it's not you. If your experience of life transcended the limited accumulations that you have made in your life in the form of body, in the form of thought, in the form of emotion and ideologies and philosophies and values, then there is no such thing as me and you, and there would be no conflict. So the whole aspect of yoga or spiritual process or whatever Rumi is outpouring in a very passionate way is is to bring about this experience that if you sit here, there is no such thing as you and me. It's all me or all you. For one moment right now, for one moment, if you experience all these people who are sitting here really as a part of yourself, after that, do I have to teach you morals and values? Be good to this person, don't harm this person, don't kill this person. Would it be necessary for you? Would it be necessary for you? No. Only because you have created a false sense of identity about yourself, now we have to teach values and values. At no time in the history of humanity, all the people have had the same values. Always, one person's values and the person sitting next, the values are different. Never in the history of humanity have all the people had the same values. Is it so? Is it so, Baba? No, that is fine. No, is it a reality that never in the history of humanity, even within a family of two people don't share exactly 100% the same values? Is it true? So if I stand by my values and you stand by your values, conflict is inevitable. This is the basis of conflict.
As long as you don't start punching each other, you can dialogue.
See, all this will help as long as the situation doesn't go into your corner. You can dialogue as long as it's not gone into your corner. When the situation gets really pushed into your corner and your values are really threatened, you will become violent. When what you believe in is threatened, you will become violent, isn't it so?
What do we do to overcome that?
That we will see. First I want you to see this. The basis of conflict in the world is your values. Because you have one kind of value, somebody has somebody… See, right now the conflict in the world is not between good and bad. One man's belief versus another man's belief, isn't it so? So these are the values. The values are different and people are constantly fighting. So if you want to go beyond this, if you want to live here without values, then your consciousness has to flower, your humanity has to find full expression. If you begin to experience, even for a single moment in your life, if you start experiencing these people, how you experience the 10 fingers of your hand, after that I don't have to teach you any values or morality about anybody. That which you have known as yourself, with that you have no conflict, isn't it? The conflict is always with the other.
How do you know whether you're a good human being or not?
Say, you being a good human being or a bad human being is only a social reality.
No, we also want to know for ourselves.
For yourself. For yourself, you just have to know whether you're really human or not. No. Because what is it… See, what is it that we consider as human? If we look at the physical body, we are just animal, isn't it? This is just biology like any other animal form. So what is it that makes us human? Somewhere within us, there is a certain sense of discretion and discrimination which is not there for the animal. So are you exercising this discretion in every moment of your life or no? This is what makes you a 100% human being or a part human being, part animal. If you look at yourself right now, sometimes the outside situations decide what kind of person you are, isn't it? Someone outside of you, right now one person in front of you acts nasty, you will act nastier than him.
No.
Somebody… not necessarily, example, okay. Somebody gets angry with you, You get angry with him. Sometimes your chemistry takes over, sometimes your hormone takes over, something else takes over. So many forces are ruling you in a compulsive way. These moments, you are not really a human being. You are many things in human form. There are certain moments when you're very conscious, when you're fully aware of what you're doing, only those moments you function truly as a human being. If you are fully aware and conscious of what you're doing at this moment, the way you function in this world and within yourself would be very, very different, isn't it? If you are very consciously creating every process of life within you, you would definitely make yourself into a very blissful and ecstatic being. Whenever you are in a state where you're very happy and joyful, you are a wonderful person for everybody around you, isn't it so? It's just that when they happen to meet you, when you're not so happy, that's when they see the other sides of you, isn't it? So those moments you're conscious, definitely you will not create any kind of unpleasantness within you. When you're not unpleasant within you, you are incapable of being unpleasant to somebody else. When some unpleasantness is happening within you, knowingly or unknowingly, with good intentions or bad intentions, you will rub this unpleasantness on other people. So good intentions and you thinking you are good is not sufficient to make life beautiful. You have to become a truly blissful being. Only then you will be pleasant to everything around you, not otherwise.
So in the end, be happy yourself to give happiness, right?
If you are joyful by your own nature, not because of what's happening around you, then if you really want to tag of a good human being, you can take it. But I would say, it's better you're a joyful human being, not a good human being. Because the moment you say something is good, essentially you have to make something else bad, isn't it? Otherwise how? No, see the very idea of goodness is coming because we consider something else as bad, isn't it? The more good I think I am, the more I will think all these people are not okay.
No, but I also think that…
Please look at the fundamentals of goodness. How is it no?
It's a very relative word.
It is very relative. See, someone who thinks he's very good, in his mind, nobody in the world will be okay. If nobody in the world is okay, it's not a good question of goodness, it's a question of sickness.
No, but if somebody thinks he's good, then he feels others are also good.
See, right now, the idea of goodness, when you use the word good, it cannot exist without the opposite of bad. It cannot exist. It doesn't matter how much you try to play it up, how much makeup you apply in the bad and say, we will accept the bad also. The idea of goodness has come from considering something else as bad. The more and more you get identified with what you call as goodness, the more and more you will resist what you call as bad. In this resistance, the moment you say, I am good, you have divided the world into two. The moment you divide the world into two, there is no question of inclusion. There is a certain exclusion, isn't it?
There's an apple lying here and there's no other apple.
I'm sorry?
There's an apple lying here and there's no other apple around. And I say this apple is good because it is good.
See, because you have seen rotten apples too. Okay? If you had never seen a rotten apple, you would just say it's an apple. You wouldn't say it's a good apple.
Yes, that you have seen. But that doesn't make this apple bad, no?
I'm not saying that. See, only because there is a rotten apple which you consider as bad. A rotten apple is not a bad apple. A rotten apple is feeding other kinds of organisms, okay? What you call as a good apple tastes good in your mouth. Rotten apple is tasting very good for some other organism, that's why it is rotten. Somebody else, this apple only one human being eats, that apple